Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the September meeting of the Governance Committee and of the full board here at our Hudson River area office in Albany and from our Sacandaga Field office in Mayfield. For members of the public attending remotely, we ask that you please close other programs on your computer or phone, silence your cell phone, and mute your audio when not speaking. Agendas for today's meeting are available at hrbrrd.ny.gov under board meetings. The conference organizer will monitor the program's chat function for anyone wishing to address the board during the public comment period during the meeting of the full board. For anyone wishing to address the board, kindly use the chat function or email brao@hrbrrd.ny.gov or simply speak up during the public comment period during the full board meeting. I will now turn the gavel over to Mr. DeWitt, who is standing in for Mr. Candido to chair the Governance Committee meeting, where the first order of business will be the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to call the September 9th Governance Committee meeting to order. Roll call, Mr. Leslie.
Committee Chair Alfred Candido is excused. The acting committee chair, Kenneth DeWitt.
Here.
Committee members Albert Hayes.
Here.
And Nicole Allen.
Here.
Board Chair Mark Frankel.
Here.
Board members Richard Byrd.
Here.
And Timothy Reagan.
Here.
Executive Director John Callahan.
Here.
General Counsel Robert Leslie. Chief Engineer Robert Fulton.
Here.
Chief Fiscal Officer Minicha.
Here.
And the Director of Administrative Services Stephanie Rizicki.
Here.
All are accounted for.
Thank you, Mr. Leslie. Can I have a motion to adopt the revised meeting agenda?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion is approved. Can I have approval of the June 10th, 2025 committee meeting minutes?
I'll make that motion.
I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's, motion is approved. Committee business, new business. Collection of board members' confidential evaluation of board performance, Mr. Leslie.
This is the only matter on the agenda. I've collected from most members already. I think I only have 2 left to go. Stephanie, if you have a copy of that summary evaluation for Mr. Reagan.
Okay, yeah.
Tina, could you read the report, please? Thank you.
That concludes the meeting of this, or the
New business.
this new business. I do not intend to do a set of minutes for this meeting because the board's not taking any action. Or the committee is not taking any action.
Can I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is, of adjournment is approved. Mr. Chairman.
Okay. We're all set, we can continue.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to call the September meeting of the Hudson River Black River Regulating District to order. Roll call, Mr. Leslie.
Board Chair Mark Frankel.
Here.
First Vice Chair Kenneth DeWitt.
Here.
Board members Albert Hayes.
Here.
Richard Byrd.
Here.
Timothy Reagan.
Here.
And Nicole Allen.
Here.
Executive Director John Callahan.
Here.
General Counsel Robert Leslie here. Chief Engineer Robert Fulton.
Here.
Chief Fiscal Officer Timothy Minicha.
Here.
And the Director of Administrative Services Stephanie Rizicki.
Here.
Mr. Candido, Second Vice Chair, is excused.
Very good. Thank you. I need a motion to adapt the meeting agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? No, not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Move, no guests, we move to the public comment period, and we do have some people who want to address the board.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I believe Mr. Platt is standing by at the Sacandaga Field Office.
Mr. Platt, the floor is yours.
Yes.
Morning.
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 Okay, first of all, I'd like to set up a little scenario for you so you can better understand what we're going through here. Pretend I am standing on the shoreline. This tabletop represents 30 feet. So from the shoreline to this tabletop is 30 feet. Here's my house on the bank. Approximately 20 feet from my house, which is right here, the erosion is starting to encroach my house, not my property. Another 16 feet comes to the end of the property, which goes just like this. Doesn't go like this, it goes like this, straight up and down. Now, this should be level. That's my yard, should be level. It's not. From here, 20 feet, the yard tilts at an angle like this, going straight down toward the bank, indicating this is eroding badly and has actually reached the 20-foot level to my house. Now, I don't know if you can see this stick. Got a little thing on top of it. It's approximately 2 feet. The other day, I'm standing in my lawn approximately right here. Standing in my lawn probably 5-6 feet from the edge of this bank. And I take this stick, not much to it, and I stick it down by hand all the way down to it reaches here 2 feet before I hit something solid. Which tells me there's nothing but air underneath my yard. That's how bad the erosion is getting. Not only is the erosion getting bad, this is very, very dangerous because all along this bank, there are pockets like this. I don't know where they are, how deep they are. But if a lawn guy hits one of these pockets with his lawnmower and it caves in, he falls 30 feet down the bank, guess what? He's dead. I mean, this could be very, very serious. Now, I was here last year, and right after the meeting, your guys, the field guys, came over and took a look at everything, and they said, yep, they saw the problem. They understood the problem. One mentioned maybe going from top to bottom with stone. Said, yeah, that's good. Then another asked me if they could get access to this bank via my property. What did you hear? I said, sure you can. And over here, I have a very large carved bear. And they said, well, you're going to have to move that bear. It's going to be in the way because we can't move it as public property. So we'll get a hold of you and you can remove that bear so we can get our equipment in. I said, yes, sir. Just let me know and I'll have that bear removed. So last fall, it was all good. We're going to bring equipment in, going to solve the problem, going to fix it. Okay, fast forward. This spring, I see the boat come over, full of stone. I get on, I go, what's up, guys? They said, well, we're here to fill in some holes in the bank. I said, well, the big hole is on the top of the bank, way up there. And the guy in the boat said, well, we can only go up 9 feet. We can't get to that big hole. I said, well, that's what the problem is. There's no holes down here. It's up on top. So then the operator asked me, can I get access to the top of that bank with my truck? I said, sure you can. He goes, well, that's all I have to do it because I cannot possibly reach the top of that bank with this rig. You can only go 9 feet. And put that in perspective, that's about up to where my shorts are in my little model here. So they are 10 feet shy of getting to that area on the top of the bank that is really destructive. Now, when the boat left, I called and said, when do you all want me to move that big old bear? And I get a letter back saying that will not be necessary. I thought that to be rather strange. So then, about a week later, I get this letter. Too bad I got a copy of this for all you guys, and I have some highlights here. This is very important because this letter, folks, is nothing but a bunch of fiction. unfortunately. It's written by Robert Fulton. To let you know what is untrue, that we go down, I don't know if you have this letter, but you can read it. Go down to his first statement. He goes, when you first inspected the property, you stated that you would be bringing in heavy equipment to solve the problem. Now, if you all were here last year, you all know that is absolutely not true. You know why? Because you asked me that same question as I was standing here. You said, are you going to pull permits? You're going to get equipment in? And I told you emphatically, I'm not going to fix your property. So that is an absolutely false statement. His next statement. Yet you only addressed the bottom of the property. Absolutely false. If you were here last year, I had only one intention. This bank. My house is here. The bank is here. Don't care what's down there. Never, ever did I address the bottom of the property. You can have Mr. Callahan go through every single correspondence. You will never see those words uttered out of my mouth. Then on the bottom, he mentions getting in touch with a code enforcement officer of the town of Northampton. Well, that was done in May. And Mr. Callahan, I gave him the results of that in May. So this guy really doesn't quite know what he's talking about. Now, I told you all that I talked to 3 of your people on ground here. You know, there are people here in this field office. It's called the field office for a reason. They're in the field. They know what the hell's going on. They see the problem. They know what the problem is. They told me they did last fall. So I get this letter, and this is a very important thing that this Mr. Fulton said. I just told you, one of you guys asked me if they could get access to bring their equipment into the bank. I said yes. The guy operating the crane asked if he could get his truck to the top of the property. I said yes. Very important. This guy tells me to obtain a work permit from the regulating district to place other armoring stone from the top of the bank utilizing land-based equipment. We have neither recommended it nor indicated that it is work we would ever undertake. So what this guy told me is he'll go as far as his boat goes. After that, good luck. If your house falls in the lake, well, we ain't gonna fix it. Quote, we would never undertake. After 3 of your people asked me permission to bring heavy equipment in. Now that's quite a disconnect, people. I don't understand it. It was all good until we get a bureaucrat involved, and then all of a sudden, it's all no good. So what am I supposed to do now? This guy telling me right here, flat out, we are not gonna do it. That's my case, and you know, as I said before, this whole bank is riddled with holes like this, all over the bank, on the edge of your property. And I would just hate to see a fatality or somebody get hurt by going over your bank. Because that's what'll happen. This long guy doesn't know where these holes are. And if his equipment falls through it, and he keeps going 30 feet to the rocks below, it's not going to be good for him. So I would just hope somebody does something before something tragic happens. That's all I got for today. I got copies of it if you want it. You have a copy? I do. You can have copies here. But I just find it astounding the people that are on the ground here know what's going on, say black, and a bureaucrat in Albany says white. I really don't understand that. This is a serious, serious problem where somebody can get hurt or I can lose my house. And somebody seems to not care. That's all I got. That's it. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Yes. Hopefully we can solve this problem. I'll leave this here. I'll call this Exhibit A.
Is there anybody else at this point wants to address the board?
We haven't had anybody else sign up, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. The next item is approval of the July 8th regular board meeting minutes. We've all got a copy. Motion.
I'll make that motion.
Second,
I'll second that.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next, the report of our executive director, Mr. Callahan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My report appears on pages 18 and 19 in your packet. Observance of getting to Mr. Fulton's item. I'll just pause for any questions that the board might have.
Caught me off guard there. Any questions or comments from Mr. Callahan? Contracts and actions, we need a motion to approve resolution authorizing amendment number 2 to contract C062016 with Arcadis of New York to perform engineering services connected with the Old Forge and Six Lake Dam. Recommendation for remedial measures. Mr. Fulton.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My memo starts on page 20. In anticipation to start a construction at Old Forge and Six Lake, the district requested from Arcadis for bid and construction phase engineering support services. Attached to my memo is Arcadis' proposal to provide 27 months of on-site and in-office project management, construction, site inspection, observation, and to respond to questions and review submittals presented by the contractor during the construction project. Staff recommends acceptance of Arcadis of New York's proposal and recommends modifying the scope of work for contract C06-2016 to include engineering services in support of construction activities for the Old Forge and Six Lake Dam rehabilitation project. Staff seeks board authorization to amend contract C06-2016 to include the scope of work and the fee outlined in Arcadis' proposal dated August 26, 2025. And request authorization for the executive director to execute an amendment to increase the contract by $3,626,000 to a total not to exceed contract value of $4,634,000. Additionally, we're looking to extend the termination date to take us through the full 27 months of construction.
Because we're just taking this
And,
contract, including
First, in case we have some additional follow-up work, so that extension would be through December 31st, 2028. And I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Are there any questions? If not, need a motion to approve the resolution authorizing amendment.
On that, one question on that, what's the breakdown by project of that 3 million plus?
We haven't received a breakout individually by the Old Forge Six Lake. It's the composite of time for field reps at both sites and the individual costs all combined in.
Single project.
Yeah, because we anticipate it being a single project. The engineer gave us an estimate for services for the single project.
Okay, and so this is just the additional add-on of those 2 more, Rob?
This is services related to engineering, construction phase activities, review of the project, project management, a field representative at both sites, full-time, and then work, I'm sorry,
Bi-weekly construction.
bi-weekly construction meetings, review of anticipated submittals, requests for information, a review of contractor progress payment requests.
Would you refer to it
Respond to
as
any questions.
construction phase
Construction phase
engineering
engineering
services?
services.
But this isn't any additional work, this is just more than what the original project we thought was gonna cost? I'm just trying to make sure I understand this.
Can I take a shot? Yeah, Mr. Reagan, I want to make a distinction between the construction phase engineering services, which Arcadis has also provided and were identified and retained pursuant to state finance law 136A, which is different, as we had discussed, from how you procure construction services. But this is a proposal that we solicited from the engineers, selected on a qualifications basis for this phase of the project. It doesn't represent any new or additional work that's emerged. It is a specific proposal for engineering services during the construction phase of the project. How'd I do, Mr. Chief Engineer? Okay. Does that help?
Yeah, it does in some ways. Doesn't that seem like a lot of money?
No, I would defer to the chief engineer, but I would say it is below the industry standard for engineering services on a construction phase as a percentage of the construction amount. It's not much more than 12 or 15%.
And yeah, and not only that, but if you look at the number of hours anticipated for a 27-month period of 2 employees in the field working probably a minimum of 50 hours, that portion of their proposal was about 2 point.
Page 26 of the packet.
26 of the packet.
26 of the package is project schedule. That $2.5 million works out by the time you work back into the direct labor costs.
On site.
If all of that cost for resident project engineer, and I'm sure that also includes their costs for housing and food. But if you just were to look at that just from a labor rate itself, you're talking about $85 straight, $85 an hour for the engineers in the field, which
That's about 400,000 for 2 people for a year.
correct.
And you figure benefits on that of going through there.
Sure, there's
I'm just trying to get a handle on it.
multiplier of 2.9 on the direct labor costs gets you to about $246 per hour. And that 2.5 million represents more than just the straight labor costs. It includes, other expenses. It's certainly comparable to what we're paying, and we saw from a different consultant for the Indian Lake project. That field represented probably in the neighborhood of average about 60,000 or so, 50,000 to 60,000. A range has been somewhere between 40 and 80,000 for the total cost per month for construction, engineering construction support services.
Questions answered? If not, a motion to accept the resolution? Second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next. Motion to approve resolution to award Old Forge Dam and Six Lake Dam rehabilitation construction work to Tioga Construction Company Incorporated. Contract number D012025. Again,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Props.
Get some props there, yeah. So my memo begins on page 30. As you know, we put out to bid the Old Forge and Six Lake rehabilitation projects. Advertised those projects back on June 20th. We had 5 contractors that participated in the mandatory pre-bid meeting on July 9th, and those 5 were eligible to submit a bid. 3 firms submitted a bid by the August 15th deadline.
and the bids were publicly opened at 11 a.m. on August 15th. A determination of the apparent low bidder was made according to section I-27 of the information for bidders of the bid documents, and the apparent low bidder is Tioga Construction Company Incorporated. The district's engineering consultant Arcadis estimated the total project cost of approximately $15 million to complete the construction work. The three bids you can see in the table in my memorandum, the apparent low bid was $12,785,695 from Tioga Construction. Regulating district staff reviewed the bids for compliance with the invitation for bid documents and identified Tioga as the lowest bidder. And we also reviewed Tioga Construction's evidence of experience completing similar construction projects and confirmed that Tioga Construction has the experience necessary to responsibly and reliably complete the work. And I have to make sure I make note of the prop that John dropped there, but those two volumes represent the bid document that we put together for the construction of the two projects, which the contractors had to review and determine their bid price.
No, I was gonna put the bottle of water next to it for scale purposes.
1,200 pages of bid document there.
Binder 1, binder 2.
Yeah. It's about 860 pages of technical specifications out of that.
I think we ought to just go over that. before we vote.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You're welcome,
More time.
and you're welcome to review it, reread it if you want to.
Could you read those for us, please?
Page 1,
Yes.
advertisement, notice for bidder.
There you go. How many months do you have?
That's right. Information for bidders.
Yep.
I have a copy if you'd like it. You can take a look.
And bid there. The district staff recommends conditionally awarding the work to Tioga Construction Company and seeks board acceptance of the recommendation and authorization to form a contract to complete the work, and authorization for the executive director to execute an agreement for an amount not to exceed $12,785,695. I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Mr. Chairman, let me just add, if I may, to Rob's remarks, congratulations to him, to Operations Engineer Mike Mosier, and the whole executive leadership team here who have worked together to bring this item to the board. You've heard a little bit about the complexity and the effort involved in preparing those bid documents, certainly working in conjunction with Arcadis, but really taking to the board today the last major capital project that it will approve to undertake. Obviously, the state will be executing the Conklinville Dam project, and that means that within this board's time here and within certainly about a decade, it will have undertaken all of the necessary capital needs known to the engineering firm present to us. And that's sort of the raison d'etre, right, of the organization to maintain this critical infrastructure. So I want to congratulate the board too for its leadership in providing the resources and the encouragement to get the team to this point. So it hasn't been easy, and we still have another project wrapping up in the background, but it's really a great day, I think, for the organization.
Sure.
Certainly invite Tim or Rob Leslie or Stephanie to add anything to that as well.
At the moment.
Anything more on the Indian Lake?
We're still moving forward on that project and still shooting for the end of the year for completion of that work. Yeah, we're moving forward with them.
You didn't find any other problems?
Gatehouse, no.
In this massive document,
Yes.
do we see a possibility of, change orders suddenly coming back to hit us in the face?
Well, we
What do you
don't anticipate any. Based on the amount of review and effort that we put in it, we're confident and hopeful that everything that we could have anticipated has been addressed in
Okay.
those documents or in the construction drawings.
Probably
But
was.
that's not to say that there won't be something that comes up that
Okay,
somebody didn't think of.
fair.
And I might draw a distinction between the scope of the previous two projects we've undertaken and are undertaking at Indian Lake, where much of the structure was remaining intact. There was certain dam safety work that needed to be done, but the spillways themselves were not replaced. Here, as you can tell by the renderings on the screen, we've got to achieve a much greater spillway capacity, much greater surface area in the same footprint. So basically, going into the project, the scope assumes that most everything is coming out and new stuff going in. So I think the chief engineer is correct to say you can never say never, but the scope is sort of less likely to invite the unknown popping up in the course of the project, if that's fair to say.
Yes.
Hey, to the people in Mayfield, we're looking at photographs of the finished product or renderings.
Yep.
I think
And
in the
they're
back
pretty
corner,
impressive.
yeah, in the back corner, maybe they have the same rendering you see here of the Sixth Lake, Mr. Chairman, set up
Okay,
in the office there.
okay. Then we need a motion to approve the resolution.
Hey, John, I want to ask one other question on that, just to make sure. But you guys invited me to come to that meeting, but it was like a day or 2 days before, and I already had plans, so I couldn't come. But we've taken into account, we've talked to them about what the weather's gonna be like that time of the year. They looked at the gates, and there's no new news on the gates or anything that's gonna change. Nothing with a log boom or anything, and there's no landscaping that's gonna have to be added or addition that they didn't take into account.
So we had, I think you're referring to the mandatory site visits with the bidders, Mr. Reagan. And the bidders, of course, a couple of them are local New York State firms. Tioga Construction, the apparent low bidder, is a Herkimer County-based firm, not unfamiliar with the weather in upstate New York. And there were no questions that arose, I think, during that pre-bid mandatory site visit at both locations that were not covered in the extensive bid documents, or any questions that were raised that then were replied to as part of the competitive bidding process during the restricted period, with answers provided to all bidders. Rob, what would you add to that?
No, that covers, that's correct.
Does that answer your question, Mr. Reagan?
Snow in October, I'm just asking, because we're not typical upstate New York in that area.
Roger that. Yeah, no, Tioga Construction, and I don't want to necessarily equate my Canal Corporation experience with the Tug Hill region. I understand the weather is a little bit different everywhere, and maybe a lot bit different in some places. But from my own personal and a couple of the bidders here seem to do a lot of work on canals where the work can only be completed during the non-navigation season in very difficult in weather conditions. So if that helps, I think they know exactly what they're getting into in terms of the site conditions.
Okay.
Just this is gonna replace the dams. So are you gonna put coffer dam or anything?
Yes, there are coffer dams in 2 phases proposed at each site. Half of the project constructed and then shifting to the other half that will allow us to continue using the existing outlet structure in the case of Old Forge and Sixth Lake, and shift over, remove the existing outlet structure, use the new outlet structure at Old Forge, and then an additional gate that's added at Sixth Lake will be available throughout the second half of the work until the new outlet structure is constructed at Sixth Lake.
Very different.
Yeah, and I also just note, I think importantly that doing so and having some temporary water control measures incorporated into that phasing will allow us to maintain normal elevations, especially during the summer boating season, but year round, and that is a requirement, as we've been able to do with the other projects and we'll do with the Conklinville Dam project. So something very important. Also very important, again, in terms of the board's leadership and our ability, the board's ability to deliver these projects. You know, if somebody had told me 5 years ago that we could increase our net position by about $12 million.
Almost 10.
Almost 10, sorry, thank you, over these few years, and somehow get to north of $80 million from the state contribution in terms of capital, and keep assessments relatively stable, and also at the same time lose, in the Hudson River area anyway, one of our largest sources of income, and be able to move forward with all of these projects. I think I would have questioned the sanity of whoever was trying to tell me that. So again, it's worth noting that this is part of our success, this project in particular, in making our case to the state. This is worthy of state investment, direct state investment. So not having to pass the cost of this project along the beneficiaries is the only way that we could accomplish it. So.
Yeah, I think staff's done a great job and deserve the credit. I guess now we need their motion to approve, to award the Old Forge and Six Lake Dam rehabilitation construction work to Tioga Construction Company. Contract D012025.
I would make that motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Mr. DeWitt.
Any further discussion? Comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Next, we have staff and committee reports. First, the governance committee, Mr. Candido.
Mr. would be acting for Mr. DeWitt.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
Just a collection of board members' confidential evaluation of board performance, which I think Mr. Leslie has.
I do. I have most and will collect the rest.
General counsel report, Mr. Leslie.
I will be brief with regard to Erie. The General Recoveries Unit did visit with us out at the Conkville Dam. We were able to show the litigator through the entire project. It was great. Northville Little Lake, that project seems to be moving forward. The deed has been signed. The tax transfer documents have been signed. All of that has been filed, and the village is moving forward with their project and their funding scheme. With regard to Draper Charlo, the gentleman who was injured, allegedly injured during a fall at the Indian Lake project, counsel for our insurance company has secured tenders from the insurer and the excess insurer from the subcontractor that employed Mr. Charlotte. No further discovery that I know of is going on. I think they're working towards a solution. But that is about it. I'm available for any questions anybody may have.
Any questions? Thank you very much. Next, Director of Administrative Services, Ms. Rozicki.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My report is located on page 34 of the board meeting packet. During the reporting period, I conducted a compliance audit and reconciliation of new access permit payments. With the CFO, we met with staff to review our access permit payment and depositing tracking processes in order to identify common pain points and collaborate on ways we can increase our overall efficiency. In personnel updates, we note the departure of 2 employees. Kevin, our maintenance worker, and Jackson, one of our seasonals, have left. We wish them the best in their future endeavors. On pages 35 to 37 of the board packet, you will find the contract status sheets. They are included for your review to satisfy the public authority reporting requirements. That completes my report. Thank you.
Kevin, he was
Any questions?
Kevin, oh, excuse me, yes. Yes, Kevin was a full-time maintenance worker.
a full-time, he left because
He
of
took a better offer.
job.
Yes,
more money.
correct.
Any other comments? Thank you very much. Next, we have the fiscal officer, Mr. Manita.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You can find the CFO report on page 38 of your packet. We've spoken a fair amount about finances this morning, so we'll just say that with respect to the current fiscal year, these are early days. So year-over-year comparisons are tricky for the reasons that I stated in my fiscal summary. What I can say related to other aspects of the regulating district's finances is that the independent audit for the fiscal year that ended June 30th, 2025 is well underway. We expect and look forward to briefing the audit committee and the board at its November 13th meeting with the auditor present. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions or address any observations you might have this morning.
Any questions? Again, thank you very much. It's not on mine, but next, Mr. Potan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My report begins on page 195. Month of August was quite a dry month, although precipitation, at least through the 17th of August, ranged from 4 to 40% or so in the Hudson River area, and 9 to 14% of historic average in the Black River area. Our inflow to our largest reservoirs, Great Sacandaga Lake and Stillwater Reservoir, was actually, the net inflow was actually minus several tenths of a percent. We actually lost more water through evaporation and other losses than we received from the rainfall and the runoff, which, if I'm not mistaken, is one of the first occurrences, at least in the 26 years or so that I've been with the district, that it's been that dry and the inflow has been that low to the reservoirs. That being said, Stillwater is, as we finished out August, fairly close to historic average. Old Fortune 6 Lake, we cut our releases back to literally a trickle losses over and through the flashboards or leakage releases, if you will, and we've been able to maintain fairly close to, at least between the historic average and the target elevation for 6 Lake and Old Forge throughout the month of August, and even now today still maintaining those elevations. So I'm hopeful that residents who like to extend their summer activity around the lake really are appreciating that.
So closed Hinkley there,
Yeah.
because lake water.
Had to draw it down so low, yeah. And Indian Lake, as I said, fairly close to our target and historic average, although we are using that as well as Sacandaga to supplement the Hudson, which has been running the natural flow at Hadley, and the Hudson has been running between 300 and 500 cubic feet per second, which is quite low, even for August. And also attached, I think I have the summaries of our superintendent, administrator, and the summary of the construction activities at Indian Lake. Happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Any questions?
Just one of the things that the chief engineer shared with me earlier in the year, on a particular day, was that just the releases out of Indian Lake were contributing maybe 50% of that natural
The upper
flow
Hudson.
at Hadley, which is really extraordinary. And the board talks about, and I think we've done a great job articulating our important flood protection mission. But the flow augmentation part of our mission is maybe not been in better display during the time I've been here anyway than this year, making sure we're augmenting those natural flows with those releases. Very important as our funding source for the Indian Lake Dam project would suggest.
Well, we certainly had enough beach for the Rio players. Any other comments? Any board member questions and comments? I got one real quick one. Maybe you're not aware, but the director and I have been visiting all the marinas along the lake just to get their input and to let them know that we're partners. And we did a trip last week, was it?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. So just, it's an ongoing program that the two of us go around. Any other questions or comments? Well, we're at the end of the meeting. Need a resolution for the 10:15 board meeting, tentatively in Lowville.
I'll make that motion.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm good.
And, motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second,
Second.
thanks everybody for coming. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.